All right, guys, today we're going to run through a full breakdown on our new TRANSDERMAL electrolyte spray. This was a year of research and development, working with dermatologists, working with skincare manufacturers to bring out something truly different and unique. And the idea here was to make something really special that no one has ever done before, because in the supplement industry here, we love new things, we love innovation. Me here as a founder and formulator, I love building new things, but the reason we made this was there an actual need. There was a pain point amongst athletes, right? I don't know if any of you guys have ever done marathons out there, done endurance events, gone cycling. It can be quite difficult to actually bring along, whether it's in a sachet, in a powder form, like a lot of the electrolyte supplements are out there, and mix these things and have them on the go. You're physically in the race, you're in the event, you're doing whatever it is. So we thought here, what if we could give the athletes the benefits of electrolytes, but with the convenience of a transdermal spray? Something as simple as you can bring along with you, and literally whilst running, you can spray it on with a few sprays like so, mix it onto large groups while you're going, and it's as simple as that. Done. That's me getting sodium and magnesium in multiple forms in really bioavailable ionic minerals that can help you hit your needs whilst in a race, whilst on a run, whilst on a bike, whilst swimming, whilst hiking, whatever it is you need to do. This thing here, it's never been done before, but is the most amazingly simple, convenient, frictionless, like the most easy to use supplement on the planet. There's no mixing in water, there's no taking sachets, no taking bulky tubs around, you're not carrying big bags of supplements around the place, you're not doing any of that. You literally can throw it in your pocket. It's that small, it can literally fit in the pocket. You can throw it here, put it in your gym bag, put it in your bloody glove box. I mean, it's literally that big, right? Like, it is tiny. This thing here weighs 60 mil. Like, you can literally run this thing here. It's put it in your chest rig while going for a run for your endurance guys. It is so bloody easy to use. And to make this thing really, really actually effective was the reason it took a year. And that's because a lot of things we use in our sports supplements aren't actually bioavailable when done transdermally. Our skin is a really great organ. It's a really, really large absorbent organ, but it keeps out a lot of things, which is really great. I mean, it's how we're alive. We don't want everything from our environment getting into our bloodstream, right? But with this, it presented a unique challenge, because electrolytes are what we call they're ions, and they're positively charged ions. When you look at the old elemental table, if you think back to high school science class, you'd see there things like sodium, Na, plus, with a little plus symbol on the top of that elemental chart. What that means is that is a positively charged ion. Now, the problem with that is your skin has like layers to this thing here, like the epithelium, like the stratus corneum, that don't like letting positively charged ions in. So when we're working with positively charged ions, it was really tricky, because it pretty much killed the product in the water before I could even build it. I was going, well, why has no one thought of this? Well, there's a reason it doesn't work. If you jump in here and ChatGPT, does this actually work? It will say no, because no one's done it before. And so you actually have to think about, how do you get it in? How do we bypass that problem? How do we get around that problem of the skin blocking absorption? And we had to work with a few things. One of the things was humectants. Humectants are compounds in here like glycerin, like butylene glycol. These things are completely harmless, but they're fantastic compounds when they're in the skin, because they help with hydration and softening of the skin, and also keeping those minerals on the skin longer to allow passive transport, right, to happen. It also increases permeability of the skin as well. These things are used in cosmetic products all over the world a lot of the time to help with ointments or creams or moisturizers to actually help get into the skin, hydrate the skin. But in this particular example, when you use it to transport things like your sodiums and magnesiums, what it can actually do is help permeability as well of that otherwise impassable barrier. So it's a really unique way of reinventing the wheel here with using this spray. And I've, in terms of just like throwing that on and going once, twice, a few pumps of that, give it a rub, and you'll actually see it's already dry. I don't know if you can tell, but that's literally already touch dry in just a few seconds. And it dries here. The best part is, and what was the other hard part, was when you're doing a very, very heavy electrolyte compound. This thing here is more than 60% electrolytes by weight. The initial beta testing meant that we had things that dried salty or flaky, or to come on crusty, and it would finish horrible, right? Or you do it in like a magnesium oil format, but then when people are running, the last thing you want is to have oil all over your body and feeling awful. And it also didn't help with absorption. So we had to really, really go back to the drawing board and invent every part of this product. What's the delivery method? What's it dissolved in? What's the main formula built out of? And then we actually had to look at, well, what electrolytes work on the skin? So I had to look at things, I had to go back to what's in nature and what actually absorbs in nature. And we look at sea salt. So this thing here has salt from the Dead Sea in there. Now, the Dead Sea is famous for all over the world. People go there and it's amazing. People have baths in the Dead Sea and swim in the Dead Sea because it helps with skin conditions like eczema, and helps with all these things because it's that unique blend of like trace minerals that are in that particular composition. You've got sodium, magnesium, calcium, dozens of trace minerals. These things absorb beautifully and really help hydrate the skin and really help with inflammation, help with a heap of great things. So we use, you'll see Maris Sol written on the side, and that's the name for Dead Sea salt. We've also used Himalayan pink salt as well, alongside this guy here. Then we've used magnesium sulfate and magnesium chloride. Now, magnesium chloride being bound to a chloride group that helps improve the osmolality of this solution here. So what's osmolality? Basically a fancy word of saying this is going to help the way that this transports and the composition when in water. When we're talking about positively charged ions before, there's something there we can look into. So when we've got ourselves the magnesium chloride, it ends up far more soluble, as in it dissolves better in water, right? So magnesium chloride dissolves much better in water because the chloride group increases the acidity, which enhances its solubility. We see this with things like creatine, right? Creatine HCl versus creatine monohydrate is something like 60% more bioavailable because it's soluble in water because of that chloride group. So magnesium chloride, fantastic for solubility. Then we use magnesium sulfate, which again enhances the osmolality and helps the overall solution stay in a ratio that's going to be most beneficial for the skin. So we had to play with the ratios of the magnesium and the sodium to get it to the perfect point where that solution there, when applied to the skin with the humectants, with the glycerol, with the butylene glycol, would actually be allowed to enhance permeability and help us, benefit us in the way that we want electrolytes to. So it took a year. Got it done. We're finally here. But the best part is we're reinventing something that people know and love. People love the benefits of electrolytes. They know how it makes them feel. They know they feel fantastic. They know they're not cramping. They know they can train harder and longer. But we wanted to solve the problem of how can we do that easier with less friction, with less pain. And that is where we made the TRANSDERMAL Electrolyte Spray.